Hey there, beautiful Brown Girl family. So super excited to be here with another episode of Brown Girl Boss. I don't know why my camera is trying not to focus. There I am. What's up, y'all? Come on in. I see that some of you are already here. So go ahead and start introducing yourself in the comments. Let me know where you are watching from. Also, let me know if this is your very first time hanging out with me on Brown Girl Boss. I love to celebrate our first timers, so definitely want to acknowledge and celebrate you all. Also want you to go ahead and tag some of your friends in the comments and share the broadcast on your page. And this is why, because I know a lot of us have people, we are either ourselves, where we can use the information that we're going to be talking about tonight. So if you have a business, you're thinking about a business, you got a side hustle that you want to make into a business, you know somebody that got a business, listen. Go ahead and tag some people down there in the comments so that we can get people in here so that they can get this good information. Our guest tonight, we have been cracking up, y'all, behind the scenes. She is a hoot. I cannot wait for you all to meet her. So we want to make sure that we have our folks here and ready to receive. So what I'm trying to do over here, because I can't really do two things at one time, y'all, I'll be struggling. But what I'm trying to do is share the broadcast on my page too, so my people could be up in here, okay? So that's what I want you to do is go ahead and tag your people, share the broadcast, let everyone know that this is where they need to be tonight, and we're going to have a really good time. All right, so I did that. Cool, man, that took like all of my mental energy. Okay, so I want to make sure that I acknowledge some of you all because I see y'all are here. So we have Cassandra is here tuning in from Arkansas. We have Latasha is here from the Queen City, first timer in the house. I think I'm gonna start giving y'all like a bankhead bounce or something because I was doing the spirit fingers, but I'm feeling more like this tonight. Okay, so welcome to Latasha. We also have Ashley is here from Dallas. We have Janae is here from Virginia. We have Phoenix is here from North Carolina. Simone from New Jersey. Carmetta is here from North Carolina. Felicia from Philly. Marvella is here from Cleveland. Isanya is here from the Bronx, first time. Thank you. Okay, let me see who else. Kamani is here from Philly. We have Sabrina from North Carolina. We have Shia is here. She also says she has a legal business, so she's in the house supporting tonight. We have Leslie here from Mississippi, Camille from Tampa, and Aaron, I'm hoping I said that right, from Maryland. Welcome, y'all. Welcome to the party. Okay, so like I said, we're going to have a really good time tonight. I'm super excited about our guests that we have, but I do want to let some of you all know who are here from the very first time, which are actually watching. Like, hello, Kimberly, tell the people. Okay, so good evening. Welcome to BBG TV, Brown Girl Boss. This is our virtual platform that allows us to connect with other like-minded women who are on a mission to live their very best lives. We come to you weekly with programming that will challenge and inspire you and get the conversation going to connect with other beautiful brown girls. My name is Kimberland, and I am coming to you all from Mexico City, Mexico, and excited to be in the house tonight to talk to Miss Kyona McGhee. Y'all, when I tell you she is the bizum, you will see just shortly. So one more time before I'm going to cue up this video that I want to show you that's going to kind of set the stage for what we are doing here tonight. I want you to make sure you have something to take notes. Real talk. I know I'm playing and stuff, but I'm for serious. Make sure that you have something to take some really good notes as we are here tonight so that you are able to hold on to all of this information. And at the very least, we will be recording it, so you will be able to come back and watch the replay. Okay, so I want to make sure that you all are good to go on that. Let me make sure that I have my sound shared so that y'all are going to be able to hear. Okay, so I am going to cue up this video right quick. We're going to watch this, and then I'm going to bring the lovely lady on up here to the stage, honey, so we can talk about the things. All right, y'all, here we go.
It was easy.
I just received my logo. Check this out.
My online audience is growing every day. Wait a minute. What's this? Cease and desist?
What's going on? I have an LLC. I thought I was
I
covered.
thought I was covered.
Thought I was
Covered.
I thought I was covered.
Unfortunately, this happens all the time. Most entrepreneurs don't know that an LLC in your state isn't enough. Social media connects people and possible infringers across the country. And to get the nationwide protection you need to register your trademark federally. Think of it this way. Having an LLC without a federally registered trademark is like building a business and waiting for it to be knocked down. And it's okay that you don't know how to handle the legal stuff. You're not a lawyer, but we do, because we are. Trademark My Stuff has you covered with the most crucial step that leads to the safety and security of your investment. We ensure you have everything covered, from application to registration, with legal advice along the way. And after your trademark is officially registered, we offer additional services that help further protect your brand and ensure that your originality is never compromised. Start the process to federally registering your brand's trademark today.
All right, y'all. So let me tell you who we have with us, y'all. We have Kyona. She is the founder of the McGhee Law Firm, better known as Trademark My Stuff. Since founding this firm, Kyona has successfully filed thousands of trademark applications and held the hands of hundreds of entrepreneurs as they navigate the demands of growing a new business. She now leads a legal team of 7 phenomenal women and men, helping push the mission of this firm forward every day. Kyona is a mother of 3 children. She is a wife. And tonight she is one of our own, y'all. She's hanging out with the beautiful Brown Girl family. So let me get her in here. Hey there, beautiful.
Hey, so glad to be here and so honored to meet you all. Let's go, girl.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so
super
excited
excited to have you here. So I played the video for the folks just so they could kind of get a feel. One, can I just say, girl, your website is popping, child.
Yeah,
I was up on that piece. So many free resources and so many things like to get out of it. I was like, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
So first wanted to say that, but definitely wanted to ask you, why trademarking? Why is this the branch of law that you decided to really lean into?
Honestly, before I started law school and everything, my whole life, I thought I would be doing criminal law, something related to criminal, anything, probation officer, something. Criminal law was my thing. And when I went to law school, I wanted to be Johnny Cochran. Like, I did not intend on doing trademarks. But the season before I was even admitted to law school, I had my own company called Daughter of the King. It was a t-shirt company. We hit 6 figures in sales in less than 18 months. We thought we was rich, girl. We thought the world was over. Okay, we was taking over. And somebody was like, oh, you should trademark that. And this was the first time I had heard about trademarking. I'm like, oh, we got an LLC. And they're like, no, you need to trademark the name, girl. And so I got this attorney, had her look it up, wanted to file it, and she called me and she's like, this name is already trademarked by somebody else. And I'm like, say what? Who? Say hi. What is it? Rewind that and tell me, what does this mean? And she was like, it means you need to stop selling these t-shirts because this is somebody else's brand and they can sue you for every dime that you have taken by using this name. And so that really was trademark class 101 before I even went to law school. And that's where I learned the importance of a trademark, a federal registered brand, and not just filing an LLC. Even at that time, I didn't think I'd end up doing trademarks. I ended up going to law school, still focused on criminal law majority of the time, got out of law school, and I've always had a strong affinity for marketing and branding and small business and all of that, but I still thought criminal law is going to have my heart. Yeah. I got out there, started doing criminal law for about 5 minutes and realized, oh, y'all really guilty. Like you
really did it.
You really did that, though. Oh, okay. I'm gonna do something a little different. And so anyway, I'm gonna leave the criminal law to the good people that can hold a straight face. I cannot hold a straight face. So you did that. Okay. And I cannot. So I still dabble in criminal law at times when my family just won't let me live my great life the way I want to and I get pulled into it. But other than that, I try to stick in my lane, which is business law and entrepreneurship. And so as far as trademarks, a lot of us, especially minorities, think if we got an LLC or we filed as a sole proprietorship or whatever, we're good to go. And that's not the case. And a lot of us don't know that until we're hit with a cease and desist or some type of infringement, or we see somebody else with the name we think is ours, and then we want to send them a cease and desist, and we're like, baby, you don't even own the name. But it's because we have an LLC that we think we have full ownership rights as it pertains to that. So the more ownership we have into our brands and our businesses, the more leverage we have with securing that and building it over legacies and generations and building a legacy. And so that is what made me go into trademark law, and it has become the most enjoyable experience I've ever had in my entire life as far as building a business and truly being able to stick my nails into something and be like, we got this.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
And especially so I have recently transitioned into this full-time entrepreneurial space.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of friends as well who are entrepreneurs. And it's so interesting that you mentioned t-shirts, because we have quite a few folks like in my little pod or whatever who sell merchandise, and never thought that we would need to trademark it. So what types of things should we be looking at and saying, okay, I need to get that trademarked?
Yeah. So if you have a name, Katrina, first of all, thank you in the comments. Thank you so much. If you have a name or a slogan or a signature product name that you want to make sure no one else uses, you need to file a trademark registration application for that so that you can secure that name. Otherwise, it's free for the taking. And then we have to play defense if we see someone else using it. So for example, business name, for sure, that's where we always tell people to start. If you can't afford to do your business name and your logo at the same time, at least start with your business name, then your slogan, and then your logo. The only reason why we say the logo last is because a lot of times when we refresh our brands or try to change something, the first thing we change is the logo. Yeah. And so most times we'll still stick to the same name, but we end up changing our logo. And if you change it anytime after you filed, you have to refile. And so you don't want to spend all that money and then have to refile it when your trademark is actually set to last you at minimum 5 to 10 years off the first application alone.
Wow.
But if you change your name, that's not going to be relevant. Or if you change your logo, it's not going to be relevant. So do it in the sequence of your name, your signature slogan, and then any, signature names for particular products. Like McDonald's has the Happy Meal. That doesn't fall under one umbrella where they file for McDonald's, and now that just covers everything. Every little element has to have its own trademark. So long story short, protect everything that you don't want someone else using.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a lot. And the reason I say it's a lot, not that I'm grateful to be having this information, because I know that so many of us are out here grinding and coming up with the next best thing. Right. But then thinking, if we haven't done the work to protect that, how somebody can just come along and swoop it up, and say that it was there. So can you talk to us a little bit about the rules of trademarking? Is it the first person that files the application? Is it the first person that slapped it on a t-shirt? How does that work?
Yeah. And so if I've been using it, say I have a name and I've lived in Flint, Michigan. I got a cupcake company. I've been using the name for 20 years. And then somebody in Atlanta starts their company this year. They file a trademark. They have the registration for it, and they send me a cease and desist. I can defend off the purposes that I've had this name. I've been using it for 20 years. It's going to be very expensive to do so, but I will likely be allowed to continue using it in this small geographical area, right? Because now I was here in this small geographical area, they could still allow me to go ahead and continue using it. Or I could get financially bullied out of it, one or the other. It depends on if you got time to play this legal game or not. But if you do, you can likely still try to win the right to only use it in that geographical area, because trademark is nationwide. And so this person filed for it, and now they have the rights to this, mark as it relates to cupcakes across the country. But we'll give you some credit since you've been here for 20 years, but in this little corner of the earth. This little corner, you know what I mean? And so then it's don't expand, don't do nothing else, don't think you're going to pass it down. You know what I mean? There's so many different regulations that they can try to put on you. So it's best to be the first one in filing and the first one in use. And if you are, now you're able to send cease and desist letters to everybody and not have to grant them any rights into any particular area. But like I said, it's always more expensive to be on the defensive end, having to defend yourself against somebody else who filed it. Play offense, file it first, get your security, and be able to go forward with that registered trademark so that nobody else can come to you and put you in the awkward position of having to defend something that could have been rightfully yours had you just filed the application first.
And you know what I was thinking as you were talking is I feel like one time I heard somebody say something like, you don't trademark until like a certain something had passed. I don't know, maybe you had made a certain amount of money or a certain amount of time.
So,
she's like, that's
no, we don't subscribe to that whatsoever.
Okay.
There's two options. So you can do a trademark application before you ever launch. It's called an intent to use application. So if you have a name in mind and you're like, man, I don't plan on launch until fourth quarter or 2023, whatever it is, you can file for the name now or the mark now and submit the name application before they issue you the registration. You will have to have launched by that point, but you can still get the process started and secure the name, because while every day is going past, everybody under the sun is filing trademarks. And if somebody files one that's similar to yours, it doesn't even have to be exact, but if it's similar, or it would be a confusion between your mark and their mark, this can cause your mark to be denied altogether only because they came first. You don't want that. So start the process as soon as you possibly can afford to do so. Whether you have to do it as an intent to use application or an active use application. We don't use this idea that you should sell a number of XYZ first. If you don't want somebody to have it, trademark the name. Otherwise, you can finally hit the 6-figure mark and find out somebody else at the $2,000 mark, then file for the name. It doesn't matter. You know, the amount of your revenue has no indication on how successful your brand will be, or the likelihood of somebody else trying to take this name before you actually decide to file. You can file an intent to use if you have not yet launched, but you want to start protecting the name or securing it and putting it on ice to make sure no one else does. Or you can file an active use saying, I've already launched and I'm ready to secure it, and you can go forward that way.
Wow. Okay. So something else you just said just now was about confusion, right? Between the different marks or different names. How much variation is okay? Like, either, let's say I was looking up to see who had already trademarked and I just want to tweak it just a little bit, or if somebody looked at my stuff and it was like, ooh, let me tweak it just a little bit. Like, how much variation?
A little bit ain't gonna ever cut it. I'll tell you that. So right now the standard is likelihood of confusion. Is there a likelihood that someone can confuse the two? So the example I like to give is if there's two people walking around in Target and they say, "Oh, girl, you should follow Brown Girl Boss on Instagram," and she's like, "Okay," and then she gets to Walmart the next day and she's like, "Oh yeah, somebody in Target or Walmart told me yesterday I should follow Brown Girl Boss," and then she said, "Okay," and then she gets home and she's like, "I think the name was Brown Girl CEO." She puts in Brown Girl CEO. She lands on somebody that's a direct competitor of yours. It's different. It's a little different. It's Brown Girl CEO. Yours is Brown Girl Boss. There's a likelihood of confusion there because the two names essentially mean the same thing, or could be interpreted to mean the same thing. And so if there's a likelihood that a consumer could be confused between the two brands, or they've stumbled upon Brown Girl CEO and they really meant to stumble upon Brown Girl Boss, there's a likelihood of confusion there, where it's a natural thing where somebody can be confused into the other. That's one end of the spectrum. On the other hand, you can have the exact same name, but sell products that have nothing to do with each other and still coexist. So if I wanted to file Brown Girl Boss, but I sell parts for plane engines, nobody's going to confuse that product for what you're doing. And these two names can coexist and never have a conflict for each other whatsoever. And so those two people can definitely have a trademark for the same name, but they're filed under two different types of industries. Exactly. Yeah. But if the industries complement each other, like say you sell shampoo and I want to sell hair extensions, they're two different classes, but those two classes complement each other too much, that's not going to work. Exactly. And so it'll depend on, one, what type of product and service that person is selling, and then two, how strong of a likelihood of confusion is there between these two marks. Changing it around a little bit or adding co or the or us or that's not going to ever be enough. No, it will never work. It would never work.
And I'm so glad that you're sharing all this, and there are a lot of folks in the comments too, just like thank you so much for sharing this.
Problem.
So for instance, just a moment ago, this user said they got their EIN and registered their business. They're still fleshing everything out, but they were told to wait. So now that you've told us about the intent to use, they don't have to wait, right? And they have the ability to be able to protect their stuff proactively as opposed to reactively.
All you really need to get started is the name or the logo or the slogan and the type of product or service you're going to sell. If you know those two things, you can go ahead. Now, if you're still flushing out whether you're going to sell t-shirts or skincare, you've got to have to figure that out first, because we have to select what type of product or service you're going to use. But if you know those two things, you have enough information to at least file an intent to use application.
I love that. So what other misconceptions, I have brought up the one about waiting, for instance, what other big misconceptions or myths do you find yourself fighting against in the industry in helping people to be informed about?
The biggest one is always that the LLC is a trademark, and people are like, "Oh, I got an LLC, I'm good." And it's like, no, that's not right. So the LLC, you'll file that with your state to let your state know where to expect your taxes from. It gives you a little bit of protection as far as getting sued and them not coming after your personal assets, because now your business is its own business. But that has nothing to do with brand security. That has nothing to do with name recognition. That has nothing to do with nationwide. LLC jurisdiction is only in my state. So if I'm in Michigan and someone in Georgia decides to do something with the same name, if I did not have a trademark, Georgia is not checking with Michigan and be like, "Oh, do you have an LLC name such and such, such and such?" They don't care. Georgia just wants their taxes, just like Michigan just wants its taxes. They're not checking with each other. The only thing you can do for nationwide protection and ownership of your brand is to file and register your name federally with a registered trademark. So that's one of the biggest things that people confuse, is thinking that they have that protection by filing an LLC, and that's not the case. The second thing I would say was that the need for, or whether or not it's that important to file with an attorney, or trying to go in and submit the application on your own. People have got off on criminal cases by defending themselves. It happens. Would you recommend it?
Right.
But it happens. And so the process that people skip over with the trademarking aspect is that first should be the research. You can go on uspto.gov and do the free database research on your own, but nobody really relies on anything that's free most of the time, and for a good reason. That database may show you or appear to be as if something is available, and it's actually not. So there's factors that you want to weigh when you're looking at search results. Does it sound the same? Does it look the same? And could it cause any confusion? Does it translate to have the same meaning? These free search results won't tell you any of that. Or is there another translation that's already filed in a different language that means the exact same thing that I'm trying to file for? None of those things will come up in that free database. But when you hire an attorney, regardless of whether it's our firm or someone else, when you hire an attorney, hopefully one that's worth their weight, they use a commercial database. That commercial database weighs all of those factors in its own algorithm to tell us the likelihood that this mark will or will not be approved. And then they're able to advise you on what you should add or take away to increase the chances of it being approved. Then you submit the application. And then after the application, there's what's called the office actions that the government will send back and forth to you, asking you for all of these things or changes or whatever. Once you get past that, then there's a phase called publish for opposition. That's when the public at large has a 30-day window to oppose your application, send any objections they have. You have no idea what to do if somebody opposes your application. You're a dead fish on arrival, basically, or dead fish in the water, however the saying goes, if you don't have somebody on your side. And so some people will look at the application like, "Oh, I can do this," and it's skipping 4 other steps that aren't there because you don't know that this is really step 2. You're missing the 1, which is the research, and then 3 and 4 that come after the submission of this one link that you see online. So those, I think, are the 2 biggest misconceptions, where it looks a lot more simple because we're only looking at this one narrow part. And then 2, just the misconception in general of thinking that the LLC is the trademark.
Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that, because I'm that type of person, Kyona. I'm gonna be real with you.
We all are.
I'm like, I went to the college. I could figure this out. I know how to read, and I'm over here researching, and I'm like,
to the college.
I'm good to go. I am so glad that you just
be
said
entrepreneurs if we didn't take the I can do it myself approach. That's why I don't fault anybody at all, because all entrepreneurs think I got this.
Yes.
I can figure this out. We all do it. And so I get it. And I don't ever fault people when they come to us afterwards and they like, I found it on my own. And then I'm like, I already know. Y'all listen, but I already know.
Sit down. Let's get it figured out.
Every day. Come on. I already know. So I'm not mad at it at all. We all do it, but it's all because we just didn't know,
Yeah.
So it's okay.
So Sonia has a really good question here.
Yeah.
She said, what if your business has multiple categories?
Yeah,
so
you can file. Oh, go ahead.
I know that, for instance, like I'm a life coach, but I also have t-shirts, and I also have a book, and so how does that work when you have the multiple categories?
So just for clarity, book titles cannot be trademarked unless it's going to be an entire series on that same title. So like the Kitchen Noodle Soup for the Soul, they have several different books. So if it's going to be like a thread like that, then you can file it. But if it's not, then you can't trademark book titles. But to go back under several different services, if you have clothing and coaching and online, whatever, and a podcast or whatever, you can file one trademark and it have multiple classes on that categories, or what they're called classes, underneath that same one trademark. Each additional service is additional fee. It's not the whole fee, but there is an additional fee for each class that you add on there. But you can have one trademark that's all encompassing as long as they all have that same name. Now, again, if you're McDonald's and you got, we sell all kinds of sandwiches, fish sandwiches, chicken nuggets, whatever, all of those things go by different names. And so that's why each one of those have to have their own trademark, because one's the Big Mac, one's the Happy Meal, one's the fish fillet, one's the whatever. But if they were all called Happy Meals, they can file Happy Meal t-shirts, Happy Meal podcast, Happy Meal this, Happy Meal that, but they're not all called the same. So as long as all of your services or products go as the same name, you can file multiple classes on that same application for that same name.
This is so helpful.
I can do this all day.
Right. And even as you're talking, I just continue to say to myself, this is why you would hire somebody. Because in my know-it-all this.
It's okay. You went to the college?
I did. Girl, graduated and everything.
Okay? Don't let nobody take that away from you. Okay? That is funny. Okay? I'm going to take that. I went to the college. Shoot. You said I need surgery. Well, what I need to do? Because I went to the college.
I be knowing the things, girl. I took a biology class or two. I got this. Like, pass me the scalpel, girl.
Can't be that, dear. It can't be that. It
can't. No, this is really I am sitting here thinking to myself, because I was telling you, I just started this new brand called Minding My Black Ass Business.
Yeah.
And it's t-shirts, it's podcasts, it's me skipping through the streets, like all the things. Real life before this, I was not like, I should trademark this, even though I thought it was like pretty genius, right? I was like, good idea. This right here, right? But I don't know. I guess I felt like maybe it was out of reach. I think I felt like I just have this little thing, which I feel like is an issue in our communities, where we will discount what we are doing, right? And I just got this little t-shirt thing or whatever. I just got this little podcast. Like, it's not all of that. And then somebody comes along and take that and it blows up, and you're like, damn, I had it. But we did it protected, right? So I really feel not just grateful, but I just feel like this information is so valuable, because it's not just the information, it's also the advocacy for our communities and for the things that have been ripped away from us that we haven't been able to protect. So now you get the opportunity to really help us do that and secure legacy. Like, it's almost giving me goosebumps.
It does. I love the work that we get to do, and I'm honored to do it every day. And even like you said, what hurts even more is when we see somebody who's not our shade. I mean, it's bad when somebody our shade steals it, but when somebody else that's not our shade steals it and they take it and run with it, and it's like, you know what I mean? And it's hurtful. And so we have to start seeing, even if it's not making six figures yet, or even if I haven't, it has not availed me the opportunity to leave my 9-to-5 yet, it's still valuable. And if you thought it was cute, what do you think is keeping somebody else from thinking, oh, that's cute? Most people will not steal your logo. They will steal your name. They don't care nothing about that logo. People struggle with coming up with catchy names. And that's the thing that they want to take. And so they'll think, oh, I'll just take this and make it my own. And now they're off to the hills with it. And now all of a sudden you feel all of this, pain about this name that was equally as cute the day you found it, found or discovered it or came up with it on your own. But the moment somebody else started using it, it got all the more real,
right.
How unique and how valuable that was. And so before that happens, because trademarking isn't going to stop that from happening, but it gives you a way and a method of defending yourself and making sure that it stops immediately. Without that, you just gonna be crying. You just gonna cry. You know what I mean? Or the person just gonna win the rights to it. And so it's much easier to just have a way to defend yourself and not leave yourself out there looking crazy.
Yeah. Man, I'm so glad that you were able to create
I'm
space
glad
for
you
us.
asked me to be here. I'm glad you asked me to be here.
Because this is good. Simone wants to know, she said, it's not just the name, right? What about product formulas? So gosh, this makes me think about all of these folks out here on the YouTubes, just, putting all of their secret recipes and whatnots out there.
It's
so
ridiculous.
Is that something that you would trademark as well?
So there's 4 areas of IP. And IP is intellectual property. So there's patents. Patents is specifically for inventions, new let's say formulas as far as like a cure or a new plant or something. If you invented something, that would fall under a patent. If you didn't invent something new, but you now have your own recipe to, like KFC's recipe for frying a chicken, or whatever formula they use to make Pepsi or whatever, even the formulas for your specific product, these things will fall under the second category, which is called trade secrets. These are things you don't, Coca-Cola does not want to let Pepsi know how they make Coca-Cola or whatever. And you don't want people to know how you make whatever your product formula is. That would fall under trade secrets. You don't file that anywhere. You keep that as a trade secret so that nobody else has access to it. There are certain contracts that you'll have people sign that work within your company or for your company to make sure it never gets released to anybody, a non-compete, a non-disclosure to make sure that these things stay within, your company. The other areas are trademarks and copyright. So it's the third and the fourth. The trademarks protect your business name, logo, slogans. The copyright protects your content itself. Written form, poems, paintings, music, videography, that type of stuff all falls under a copyright. So whatever you're making or whatever you're selling, it's gonna fall in one, if not all of those areas. And you'll want to make sure you own every bit of it, because that IP is your magic sauce that makes your brand and your business different than somebody else's.
Girl, this is freaking invaluable. I can't wait to go back and watch this replay. Okay, so Janae said, what happens? Why I don't know where my screen isn't changing. Hold on. She said, what happens if you have a business name or logo trademarked and in use, and you stop operation for a period of time? Do you still own the trademark if it's not in active use? If so, what's the process or necessary form?
Yeah, so your trademark application is going to be registered for at least 5 years. At the 5-year mark, they're going to come to you and say, hey, there's a time to resubmit your proof of use. Are you still actively using this brand? Are you no longer using this brand? Like, what's up? If you don't submit your maintenance forms at that 5-year mark, then you'll get 6 more months at that point to then submit something to revive your application. If you miss all of the deadlines that they're providing, it's going to go dead. You have to start the process all over. As long as you submit the proper maintenance docs at that time and you can show that you're actively using it or whatever the case may be, screenshots from orders or the screenshot of the website, whatever it is to show that you're still actively, doing this brand, then it will extend for another 5 years. Then you don't have to do it again until year 10. At the year 10 mark, they're going to ask you for the same documentation. If you show that at year 10, then it's going to roll over to another 10-year mark instead of another 5. So it gets longer and there's less of a demand to have to do it, every 5 years. Now it's every 10. And that will go on as long as you properly submit the maintenance docs every time. And the chance that you don't and you miss it, then it's over and you'll have to start back over. So there is an opportunity, though, for you to submit now what's called a cancellation for somebody else's trademark, which is a little shady, but it's an option, where if you see somebody else is not using this name or they've gone out of business, they've been out of business for 2 or 3 years, you've wanted this name since whenever, and now this is what's standing in the way of you actually getting the mark, you can submit a request for cancellation for that person's trademark. I didn't tell you this.
They would have to show that they're still using it.
Yes. And if they don't, their application goes dead, even if it's not at the 5-year mark. It could be at year 3. It now goes dead and it is free for the taking. So we've done it. It's not very, classy, but it is what it is when you got to get your stuff out the way. And it's fine when you know that this person genuinely is done with it. It's much more respectable when you know that they're actually really done with it. Now, if it was just shady when you like, wait a minute, I just was rebranding my site now.
Right. So that's what I was going to ask you, like when you said active use, and I just kind of follow up to this question, what types of activities qualify as active use, or how much of a gap can I have within this time that, can say I was taking some time off to rebrand or whatever?
So it's always going to depend on what type of products or services you're selling. Now, if you're just rebranding, your trademark is still, live. You're still in this business. The business is still ongoing. All we're doing is refreshing the brand. For some people, that might take 2 months, depending on how much money you got. For some, that might take a year. Who knows what all is going into that rebranding? We can find a way to make sure that this is a legitimate request or a legitimate, situation. But if you're not using it at all at the 5-year mark, you ain't used it in 2 years, it's kind of like, no, you better get to selling some candles or we're gonna lose the trademark. You know what I mean? So it's always depends, like I said, on what type of product or services they're selling.
Yeah, and once again, I'm thinking to myself, this is where an attorney would come in handy because I'm not, paying attention to that or even knowing that I'm just out here doing whatever I'm doing. So Shia, I love this question because this is the question I also have. What if your name is the name of the brand? Let's say you have a unique name like Kimberland. Do I have to trademark my name?
So Kimberland, have you ever heard of Martha Stewart? Or Michael Jordan? These are these people's birth names, and they were like, I'm gonna be a brand. And it's a federal trademark. Nobody else is about to walk over here and slap Martha Stewart on no plates.
Right.
Not gonna happen, or no towels or no nothing else.
Even if their name was Martha Stewart.
Right. Even if your name is Martha Stewart, I'm sorry, but you're not gonna be Martha Stewart on these towels. That is my name and my name alone. Because that's now a brand of its own. Even though that's her name, it's now a brand as well. And so it's no different with Michael Jordan and his shoes. You're not coming out with some shoes called or no Nike, nothing at this point.
Right.
And so it's the same thing. If you have a vision for your brand to be the Oprah of whatever, if you think Oprah is not a trademark, it is. You know what I mean? And so these are these people's real birth names, but you also can get a federal trademark for that as well. You'll sign a consent that you're allowing the federal government to register your name as a trademark, and it will be filed just the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kyona, girl, how can people work with you, honey? Because
listen,
let me tell you something. I need to be on the VIP list, sign up first. Because no, seriously, I'm not even playing. I have so much stuff like that I need to like talk through. And like I said, I know they're great ideas and but I haven't protected it. And that's something that's important. So how can people connect with you? I know you said you're in Michigan. Does that limit you to working with people in Michigan?
No. So we're able to work with people nationwide because trademarking is a federal database and we're filing with the United States the federal government and not state-based. So we're able to work with people nationwide. You can always talk to us on trademarkmystuff.com. We have a chat box right on the site. It's a live chat box that you will talk to someone all the time. Not at 3 a.m. I got to be honest, but at between 10 and 10, we got you. But anyway, you can catch us there. You can call our office. There's always someone there answering from 9 to 5 every day. So it depends on whatever mode is your mode. We're there to help. Right now, just for the entrepreneurs who are coming straight out the gate for the next 24 hours, we have a contracts bundle that is $99, and it has all the fundamental contracts that every entrepreneur should have in their arsenal. It's usually $379 for this bundle, and it has 6 different contracts in there: a non-compete, a non-disclosure, a speaker's agreement, an influencer marketing agreement. There's so many good contracts in there, and they're templates that you can switch out and use for any situation, and that they are legally stamped and good and ready to go that you can use over and over again. So if you are just starting out and you like, how do I protect my stuff? How do I make sure my assistant ain't gonna open up her own version of my candles tomorrow? You need to have baby girl sign a non-compete. Or how do I make sure that whoever isn't gonna tell my business, make sure they sign the non-disclosure or whatever it is? You can use these contracts over and over again. So It's the library of contracts right on our website at trademarkmystuff.com. But if you need more information on trademarking your name or your brand or your logo or copywriting, whatever it is, you can give us a call or check out our website, and we will be here 24/7 because that's what we do.
Let me tell you something. I'm
If
over
you get
here
arrested, though, please do not call me.
She is not in the criminal business at all. Like,
especially if you did it, because I cannot be playing around with y'all cousins no more. I was sitting there like, but you did this though. Okay.
This is too funny to me. But listen, y'all, real talk. I want y'all to go over to the website because I was sharing earlier, there are so many resources that are there just from even the video that I showed at the beginning, just kind of explaining like, oh, you filed, but now you need to do this too. Like, there's just so much stuff there. And I respect a brand that gives out a lot of free info, right? Because that means if you can give me this for free, that is life-changing, amazing. Take my money, girl. Take it. Okay, because I'm about to get this contracts. What is called the library contract?
The library contract. Yes.
Listen, I'm on the page on this other screen over here. Okay, I need it because even things I speak all the time, like I'm doing things all the time, and I have to try to come up with a contract. Like, dear Google, how do I write a contract to tell these people how much I'm charging? I don't know, right? So just in that. I find that valuable. And I just thank you, Kyona. Like, I know I'm being silly, but this is me. But I really, really, really appreciate all of the information that you've been able to give us so that we are able to protect the stuff that's near and dear to our hearts. Like, these are companies and businesses that we have just been like toiling over day and night. And to the thought of having somebody just come and snatch that away is just like not okay. So I'm just so appreciative of you, just firing off all these nuggets as we really need to. They laughing when I said girl. Google.
That was funny.
But yeah, so there are lots of folks amening in the comments. And y'all, before y'all run, I want you to let us know what was the biggest takeaway for you as you've been here watching this tonight. So drop that into the comments for me, y'all, so we can make sure that we have that. I also want to make sure that everybody, we had quite a few new folks on here tonight. So I want to make sure that you all know how to find us and know where we are and all of those things. So if I could find my doggone tab, where is it at? Jesus, there it is. Okay. So I'm like, where did it go? All right. So if you are just finding out about Beautiful Brown Girls, you're thinking, oh my gosh, like this was so cool. I really appreciated this content. We would love for you to connect with us. So make sure that you go to beautifulbrowngirls.com. That way you'll be able to see all of the brunch club chapters that we have. You'll be able to see our team, understand our mission and vision and what we do here at Beautiful Brown Girls. We also want to make sure that you connect with us on Facebook at Beautiful Brown Girls. We have a Facebook group called Beautifully Shaded. On Instagram, we're Beautifully Shaded, and on Twitter at Beautiful Brown U. We also have a VIP members network that we love to tell everyone about. It's only $25 per year. And in that VIP members network, you get the opportunity to connect with people on a deeper level. You have the opportunity to attend classes. Y'all, we've had painting and makeup and wine classes. We have a workout club. We have a book club. Like, there's just so much stuff there. Okay. So if that's something that is speaking to your heart and you're like, oh, the M to the G, I need to get some of that, go to members.beautifulbrowngirls.com and you will be able to get that information there. Kyona, if you could leave one thing with the folks tonight, they didn't hear anything that you said, but this one thing, they logged on here late and they got to go back and catch the replay. What would be the one thing that you would leave with the people?
I would let you know that you are the sauce. You are the magic sauce. You are everything unique that you are questioning and doubting about yourself. You are the magic sauce that you are wondering if you have in the first place. And you have it because you are it. And all I need you to do is believe in it like we believe in it, because we're waiting to take part in whatever it is that you're about to pour out. But I don't know what it is that's playing with your mind and trying to convince you that you're not going to do it as well. It's not going to be as cute as how this person does it. Or I don't know how long it's going to take for me to sell something, or is somebody going to buy it? That's somebody else's business. Your business and your part in this is to make sure that you go forth and do what you're supposed to do, which is put it out there. What happens and what other people do in response to that is none of your business. It's your business to let that sauce be spread and let us all take part and give us at least the opportunity to show how much magic and sauce you've given to us. But without you giving that to us, we have no way in indulging in it. And if you and when you know that you got the sauce, it's also on you to protect it. Okay. Okay.
Girl.
Okay.
y'all better have this sauce. Girl. Well, the ushers will be coming through with the collection pretty shortly. So we also take Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and coins. If you feel so led, stars, you can throw all of that. Okay. Spread the sauce. So y'all definitely make sure you run over to Kyona's site, y'all. Trademark My Stuff. Connect with her on these here social medias at Kyona the Lawyer. While y'all over there, you can connect with me at Kimberlyn J as well, honey. Listen,
let me find y'all. Make sure I'm on everybody's Instagram. Where's my phone? Okay, here it is.
Yes,
honey.
We got to get connected. Kyona, you are officially, honey, a member of the beautiful Brown Girls family. Child, we cousins now, so you're not gonna be able to get rid of us. Okay, make sure.
I don't want to.
Make sure you keep us posted on any of the things that you have coming up, so that we'll be able to support you as you're moving forward. And child, I'm about to go get this contract to templates. That's what I'm about to do right now. So
wait, let me make sure Kimberly and I got the right Instagram page before you go. You got to be the only Kimberly in the world.
Kimberly J, honey. Yes,
okay, I got the right one. Okay, I'm like, she looks like she's traveling, but I didn't want to be on the wrong one. But I got it. Okay.
All right. Yes, honey.
Thank y'all.
So people say they out there, they on your page. They say, bye, cousin, honey. You have been adopted into the family.
I love y'all deeply. Thank you so much. If you ever need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm on Instagram all day long, every day. I'm trying to get more on Facebook. I'm going to get back to Facebook love, but Instagram is where I'm really at all the time. So please feel free to reach out at any time.
Awesome. Well, y'all, next show, we will be back 2 weeks from now. And on our next show, who do we have? What date is that, Lord Jesus? We have a filmmaker that is going to be on with us next show. Her name is Naila Jefferson, and she makes films and uses her films for advocacy purposes. So we'll be talking with her. Mark your calendars now for that. And we have our next episode of Brown Conversations this upcoming Monday. You get to see Sav and I and our shenanigans. We will see y'all then. Smooches, hugs, kisses, all the things.
Have a
bye,
y'all. Bye-bye.